Welcome to another deep dive. We've got your sources, and we're ready to, well, really dive deep into them. And this one's especially for you.
Always exciting to see what people send our way.
Yeah, so today we're looking at, let me see, A1.PDF. It was pretty straightforward, actually. A conversation designed for, well, it says here, for English language learners.
Oh, interesting. Those can be surprisingly insightful.
Right, and you might be thinking, okay, what can a basic language learning tool teach us about business? Well, that's what we're here to find out.
I'm intrigued already. What's the angle here?
So we're going to follow the journey of this small coffee shop, see how it grows, the classic underdog story. But then it gets into some really interesting ideas about the future of business, all from this, seemingly simple dialogue.
The unexpected sources are often the most revealing. You never know where those golden nuggets of wisdom will pop up.
Exactly. And our mission today,
Yeah.
to pull out those practical business lessons and, well, think about what these future business concepts could mean for anyone, really,
Yeah.
especially those with an entrepreneurial spirit or those just curious about how the world of work is changing, all that.
It's all connected these days, that's for sure.
Definitely. Okay, so let's jump right in with the story of Emma's coffee shop. We've got Emma, a young woman who loves, really loves coffee, and she dreams of having her own shop. It sounds familiar, right?
A classic tale.
Yeah.
The heart of so many entrepreneurial journeys. Passion meets ambition.
Totally. But here's the catch, and I bet a lot of people listening can relate to this. She had absolutely no money to start with. Zero.
Ah, the classic startup dilemma. Limited resources, but big dreams. It's a hurdle a lot of entrepreneurs face at the very beginning.
It's the first big test, isn't it? Seeing how you adapt and innovate when you're starting with, well, basically nothing. But Emma, she didn't let that stop her. Instead of waiting for, some big investor or loan or whatever, she takes a super scrappy approach. She starts making coffee at home and, get this, selling it at a local market. Talk about bootstrapping.
Ingenuity at its finest. It reminds me of, those stories of tech giants starting in garages. It's all about maximizing those limited resources and finding creative ways to test your idea.
Totally. And the source even mentions those 5 a.m. starts. Imagine that, waking up before dawn every day just to brew coffee and get to the market. That kind of hustle, that dedication, it's often the unseen foundation of successful businesses.
Right. It's not always glamorous in the beginning. It's about that pure grit and that relentless pursuit of your goal.
Yeah, you got to be willing to put in the work, that's for sure. So after a year of this, early mornings and market hustling, Emma finally saves enough money to open a small coffee shop. It's a huge milestone, right? But the story, it doesn't end there.
Oh, there's always another chapter in the entrepreneurial saga. Overcoming one obstacle often just leads to another. What was the next challenge for Emma?
Well, she hits another roadblock. Competition, like serious competition. People already have their favorite spots, their routines, and Emma's new shop. Well, it's struggling to get customers through the door. So what does she do?
This is where it gets interesting. This is where we separate the dreamers from the doers, right?
Totally. And Emma, she doesn't just sit back and, complain about the competition. She gets creative. She starts developing these special, unique coffee flavors that you can only find at her shop. It's all about differentiation, right? Giving people a reason to choose you over the other guys.
It's that classic principle of finding your niche. What makes you unique? What value proposition can you offer that no one else can? Especially in a saturated market, standing out is key.
And that's exactly what she did. People loved her new coffee creations, and word starts to spread. Her shop, it starts buzzing with customers. But she doesn't stop there. The story says that over the next 5 years, she expands from that one tiny shop to, get this, 10 different locations across the city. 10.
Wow, now that's impressive growth. Scaling a business, especially that rapidly, it takes serious planning, operational efficiency. There's so many moving parts. It's a whole new set of challenges. But it seems Emma found a system that worked.
Right. I mean, think about it. From $0 to 10 shops in just a few years. That's remarkable. So let's pause here for a second. Think about Emma's journey so far. What are some key lessons that stand out to you? What resonates?
I'm drawn to her resilience. She encountered setbacks, financial limitations, fierce competition, but at each turn, she adapted. It's a testament to the power of resourcefulness and, of course, a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, resourcefulness for sure. Starting small when you have to, but not being afraid to grow.
Yeah.
Putting in the work, the sheer hustle, that's always essential. And then that creative spark, finding that unique twist to overcome a challenge and set yourself apart, that's a potent combination.
Right. Passion, hard work, and a dash of innovation. It's a recipe for success, even if the ingredients might look different depending on your field.
Okay, so that's Emma's story. Inspiring, right?
Yeah.
Now, the conversation in this source, it shifts gears. It starts talking about like the future of business. One of the first things they bring up is, well, online businesses, selling stuff on the internet.
Yeah, that's a huge trend, obviously. But what's interesting is that the source emphasizes that even small businesses can participate. They don't have to be, Amazon or something.
Totally. And it makes you think, right? Like, how much do you buy online these days? I mean, everything from groceries to birthday presents for your niece, it's all just a click away.
Absolutely. And that shift to online commerce, it's only going to accelerate. The pandemic really accelerated that trend. And it's creating opportunities for entrepreneurs who might not have had access to traditional retail spaces or large-scale distribution before. A small business in, say, rural Montana can suddenly have customers in Tokyo or London.
It's pretty wild when you think about it, that kind of global reach.
Yeah.
And then the source goes on to talk about technology, specifically robots, like actual robots. They even mention robots taking orders in restaurants, assisting in hospitals, even being used in schools. Sounds kind of futuristic, right?
It does, but the reality is that automation is already impacting various industries. It's not just about those flashy humanoid robots we see in movies. It's about software, algorithms, machines doing tasks that were previously done by humans. And this raises some, pretty big questions, both exciting and potentially concerning, about the future of work.
Right. I mean, how is this going to change things? Will robots take all the jobs? And what kind of skills will people need to thrive in this, robot-powered future?
It's definitely something to think about, especially if you're considering career choices. It's not necessarily about being replaced by robots, but about understanding how to work alongside them, how to leverage these technologies, what new skills will be valuable, what tasks are uniquely human. Those are the questions to ponder.
So true. We're all kind of navigating this uncharted territory. But then it gets even wilder. The source starts talking about space businesses. Like, seriously, businesses in space. Space travel becoming more common, even the idea of space hotels. Now, that's getting pretty out there.
It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? But space tourism is already starting, and there's growing interest in commercial ventures beyond Earth. It's definitely a frontier to watch, even if it still seems a bit, far out.
A space hotel. Can you imagine? It really pushes the boundaries of what we think is possible. It's like, what can't you do in space?
It's a reminder that innovation doesn't have limits. What seems impossible today might be commonplace tomorrow. It's about constantly challenging assumptions, about thinking big, about looking beyond the horizon.
Absolutely. And all these potential future trends, whether it's online businesses, robots, or even space ventures, they all point to one really crucial thing: the need for people to learn new skills, constantly. We can't just rely on what we know now.
Right. Adaptability, the ability to learn, to evolve, that's going to be more important than ever. We need to be proactive, identify those emerging trends, and acquire the skills that will be in demand. The future belongs to the lifelong learners, the curious, the adaptable.
So let's wrap this up. We started with this, basic conversation for English language learners, and look where we ended up: space hotels. But along the way, we learned a lot, right? From Emma's coffee shop journey, we saw the power of starting small, the importance of hard work, and that spark of creative problem solving.
And we got a glimpse into the future of business, trends that might seem distant but are actually already unfolding. It's a reminder to pay attention, to stay curious, to be open to the unexpected. And who knows, maybe one of us will be sipping a latte in a space hotel someday.
Yeah, maybe. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll be back with more insights from your sources soon. Okay, so you're here for the deep dive.
Yeah.
You want to get smart, fast, and we found some really interesting material for you today.
Yeah, absolutely.
A conversation with Sarah and John, actually.
Right, cool.
Yeah, it's from a12.pdf if you want to look it up yourself.
Okay.
But basically, they tell this simple story, and then they kind of brainstorm some future business ideas.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, and our mission today, I guess, is to really pull out what makes a business concept work. Like, what makes it innovative, what makes it successful, and what that could tell us about, what's coming next.
Yeah, like the core principle.
Exactly. So think of it as like getting the cheat sheet right.
Uh-huh.
You get all the insights without having to read through everything yourself.
That's what I like.
So the source material, it starts with this story about a young entrepreneur named Alex.
Okay.
And he wanted to start this food and grocery delivery business.
Oh, so like the ones we see.
Yeah, exactly. And you might think, well, that's not really groundbreaking. We see that everywhere.
right? It's a pretty crowded market these days.
Yeah, and that's exactly the challenge.
Yeah, how do you even start competing when you have these huge companies already out there?
I know they have like the whole system set up, the name recognition, everything
So Alex's situation, I think that's a perfect example of needing something different to stand out.
to stand out. Yeah, and he found it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so his smart idea was to make his delivery service fast,
Okay, sure.
but also eco-friendly.
Oh, that's cool. How did he swing that?
Well, instead of those gas guzzlers, cars and trucks,
Yeah.
he went with electric bikes.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really interesting here.
Yeah.
Like, it speaks to all those people who are really conscious about the environment these days.
Yeah.
And plus, electric bikes can get around traffic sometimes better.
Makes sense in a city.
Yeah, and cheaper to run.
So it's practical, too.
Right. It's not just about being green. It actually makes sense business-wise.
Yeah, I like it.
But it wasn't just the bikes. He also was really focused on delivering fresh, healthy food.
Okay, so he's hitting like two trends at once.
Yeah, he found two things that people really want.
Smart.
And the result, well, the story says his business was a huge success.
Wow, so it really worked.
Yeah. So Sarah and John, they point out that it's about being smart, finding a unique solution.
Right, thinking outside the box.
Yeah, it's about finding that special thing that no one else is doing.
Makes you stand out from the crowd.
So for you listening, think about your own interests.
Yeah.
What problems are people trying to solve? What needs aren't being met?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, what can you do differently? What's that unusual approach you can take?
So like Alex, he found that special angle that no one else thought of.
Right, and that's what helped him succeed.
So inspiring.
So, okay, that's Alex's story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sarah and John, they started talking about other business ideas for the future.
Okay, cool, like big picture stuff.
Yeah, and the first one Sarah brought up was online education.
Oh yeah, that's huge now.
Right, and it makes sense because we see so many people wanting to learn online,
Yeah.
like learning English business skills, even cooking.
I've taken a few online courses myself.
Yeah, and they mentioned how popular online schools and courses are these days.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
So it's not a brand new idea, but it's definitely not going away anytime soon.
I think it's just going to get bigger.
And the question is, why is it still such a good idea?
Yeah. Why is it working so well?
Well, for one, you can learn from anywhere in the world,
It's so accessible.
and it's often way cheaper than traditional schools.
Plus, you can learn at your own pace.
Exactly, and there's so much potential for specialized courses.
Oh, yeah, like niche stuff.
Yeah, focusing on very specific things.
Cool.
Then John, he brought up solar energy.
Oh, that's a hot topic.
Yeah, his point was basically the world needs cleaner energy.
Yeah, we can't keep doing what we're doing.
It's a huge global problem,
For sure.
but it's also a huge opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
And solar energy is a big part of that,
I think so.
People are really starting to pay attention to renewable energy.
Yeah, I'm seeing it more and more.
And John, he talked about the benefits of solar panels, like saving money on your electric bill,
Yeah, that's a big one.
and of course, helping the environment.
Right, so it's good for you and the planet?
In the source material, it mentions how more and more people are interested in getting solar panels.
Yeah, it's not just a fad. It's like a real shift.
Exactly. So it's not just talk, it's turning into action.
I like that.
So we see with online education and solar energy,
Yeah.
it's about tapping into these big trends,
Uh-huh.
giving people something that they actually want and need.
Real benefits.
And then the conversation went to home businesses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and this is really relevant now because so many people are working from home.
Yeah, it's like the new normal for a lot of people.
And it's made it easier for people to start their own thing.
Yeah, no more commuting.
Right. You have
Yeah.
more flexibility, more time, and maybe you're looking for ways to make extra money.
Yeah, or even a whole new career.
And they gave some examples like opening an online store,
Yeah.
selling homemade food, things like that.
Yeah, like crafts too.
Exactly. Using your skills, doing something you enjoy, and reaching customers online.
Yeah, the internet makes it possible.
And what's really cool about home businesses is the variety.
Oh, yeah, you can do so many different things.
It could be something small like making jewelry,
Yeah.
or something bigger like offering online services.
Yeah, like consulting or coaching.
Right. The main thing is you don't need a lot of money to get started,
Low overhead.
and you can reach people all over the world.
Yeah, the market is global.
So Sarah and John, they wrapped up their discussion by saying, the world's always changing, right?
For sure.
And businesses that can adapt.
Keep up.
Yeah, businesses that can address those changes,
Mm,
those are the ones that are going to succeed.
the ones that stay ahead of the curve.
And if we think back to Alex's story,
Mm-hmm.
we see this pattern,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's delivery online education, solar energy, or home businesses.
Totally different fields.
But the key is the same. Find a problem or a need,
Yeah.
come up with a unique solution,
A smart solution.
and really pay attention to what's happening in the world.
Ride the wave.
So for you listening, you're here for the
They're
takeaways.
good stuff.
The aha moment is not just about these specific business ideas.
Right.
It's about understanding how to spot a smart idea in the first place.
Yeah, that's valuable.
Recognize the needs. Find those innovative solutions and pay attention to those big trends.
Makes sense.
And I think it also shows that you can learn a lot from simple examples,
Oh, yeah.
like this conversation between Sarah and John.
Right. It seems simple, but there's a lot there.
Yeah, if you know what to look for.
Exactly.
So let's do a quick recap just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay, sounds good.
We saw how Alex built this awesome delivery business focusing on speed, eco-friendliness, and healthy food.
Yeah, really smart.
And then we talked about those big ideas for the future, online education, solar energy,
Yeah.
home businesses. And the big takeaways are offering something unique, solving a problem, and thinking about the future.
And the impact you're having.
Yeah, like, are you helping people? Are you helping the environment?
Important stuff.
And these are not just some theories. These are things you can actually apply.
Real world stuff.
So as you're thinking about all of this,
Yeah.
about being unique, about solving problems about the future,
Yeah.
here's a final thought for you.
Okay.
What needs and trends do you see in your own life, in your community?
Oh, that's a good one.
What problems are people facing? What's changing around you?
Yeah.
And how can you turn that into a smart business idea?
I like it. It's like a challenge.
Yeah, think about it.
I will.
All right, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening.
This was great.
See you next time.
Yeah, bye.